Thank you all for coming. We are going to be doing lightning talks with the cohort members. I think there's 9 of them presenting. This is just a way for them to kind of wrap up what they've done here during the program and over the course of it and talk about things they're excited about. Each person is going to talk for 5 to 8 minutes with 10 to 20 slides, and then the next person will cycle over. So it'll be very fast, very informal, and then after each person gives their thing, there's time for 2 questions to each person. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask them.
Ready? Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Dora Reynosa. I am an artist here in Dallas, Texas, but I was born in Mexico. And I'm gonna talk about 4 main themes that I experienced here in the Cedars Union. The process, moments in between, solitude, and intellectual humility were the biggest themes for me throughout this 18 months here in the Cedars Union. I was a community member before I became part of the Cohort program, and I think I was a community member here for about a year or so. And I was doing a lot of mural work. A lot of my work is public art and big murals, and it evolved into a lot of different things while being here. And I think being 29 also had a lot of influence into my work. I think entering another decade in your life has been a big change for me, and you can definitely see it in my artwork. And I wanted to show the process. I think those were the best moments for me, being here in the CU and having the space to have the opportunities of the process. And when you do a lot of mural work, it's a lot of doing mock-ups and creating for the clients, and then executing this thing that you already have in mind. And a lot of this is from my solo exhibition, which happened in September, about 3 months into the cohort. So it was perfect timing, and it took off like this. So I didn't really have a chance to kind of like settle in. I was just like ready to go. But I had been in this space for a while before, so it felt very natural and it felt very organic. But I really want to emphasize, hopefully with these photos, what the process, what learning about the process meant to me. There were a lot of moments of laughter, a lot of moments of crying. I'm a big crier. A lot of emotional moments because there's a lot of adrenaline when you're creating something that you had a concept of, and then it turns into something else. And you have all these little moments that were very special to me, and I probably would have never had without this studio. There's a big difference of working in the Fab Lab and then having to put all your stuff away. And then there's a big difference in having your own space and coming back from working on it, going home, and then coming back and it's still there. There was a big difference, and it made a big impact into the way that I worked. So it was really fun to do that. And I wanted to show the process of creating murals. And this is one of the last murals that I did. It was artist in residence with Balcones and the other art fair. I'm not sure if anybody had a chance to go, but I was one of the artists at the very front, and I was able to create this experience. As you walk in, the Balcones are doing tasting of their whiskey, and I really wanted to show them, this is how it turns out, but this was the concept. And I didn't exactly know how to show them what it was gonna look like because I had to create it first, but it was something that I had to create on site. But I had an inspiration of another piece, so I kind of included it in here and hoped that it would somehow showcase what I was trying to make. So a lot of times, nobody gets to see this part of the process. Really, only your client gets to experience that, so I wanted to emphasize that in this presentation. Here's another process of creating. This was a project with the MLB and the Texas Rangers, and we created 2 different designs for home plates to be auctioned off for the Boys and Girls Club of Tarrant County. And again, I just fell in love with showing the process, showing how this turns into this. And I think, like I said, I really wanted to emphasize that because it's something that you don't get to have unless you're here and unless you have that space. And it was something really beautiful I got to experience. And I don't know if I'll get to experience that again, but it was fun. It's been fun. This, again, one of my favorite things I've done while being here in my cohort. This is in downtown Dallas, and it's probably the biggest mural I've done. It's a whole block. And again, you don't get to see this all together. So this was really fun to do as well. And then between those moments, as you're working, you start getting all these different ideas. And that's the really, really fun part I got to experience while being here. And it then starts turning into all these different things. I had never worked with different mediums like this before. So it was really fun to have the space to create them and have the opportunities for these ideas to even come up. It was really fun. It was very, I felt like a kid again, getting to work with all these different toys. I had all this stuff brought from Mexico, and I sewed everything together, all the different toys. So being able to give all these different elements and objects a different identity and a different meaning, not only in my world, but I'm sure in a lot of people's worlds. These are toys that we all get to use, especially in my culture. So it was really interesting to be able to work with them and create all these different relationships between the objects. And again, I started to create bigger, even bigger versions of these pieces. And I've always loved working in large scales. And yeah, I think that's been my favorite part about being here in the CU. Getting to walk around and see everybody else's work has been really, really interesting. So the process really led to being able to have the opportunity to develop a different language with my artwork and a different relationship and a different type of intimacy. I'm a person that works really late at night. Like I'll get here around 7 p.m. and leave around 9 in the morning when everybody else is coming in. So having that solitude was really special to me. And I loved having those moments of being alone and doing that. Another thing I really want to talk about is the intellectual humility I was able to experience here. When I first came into the cohort, I had done a lot of work. And I'm probably one of the least professional people and artists I've ever met, which is interesting because I've done so much work with so many different organizations. But seeing the rhythm and the way that the staff here works has been very enlightening. And it's very inspirational to push myself to be even better, to work even faster and more efficient, and to see other ways of managing things has been very, very inspirational, and I'm very grateful for that. And in the future, this experience has really led me to see how I can create toys. I've always been very centered around children and education institutions like K through 12. And I'm very interested in creating toys and different engagement tools for children. It led to creating sculptures, concepts of sculptures that I want to create. And this is just from playing around with the shapes that I already create and being able to use them in different ways. So this is future plans that were created here in those brief moments of inspiration when you're tired and you're working on other things. And these are some of my favorite pieces that came about at the cohort. So again, I really want to emphasize that the process is what I really fell in love with, and having the opportunity to even be in the space was really fun because like I said, I had been a community member here before, and being able to get one of those micro studios was really fun.